Life often leads us into the wilderness, a place between where we were and where we are meant to be. It is a vast, silent landscape of uncertainty, where the horizon feels distant and the path ahead is obscured by shifting sands. In these moments of isolation, we feel the weight of the in-between. But remember, the wilderness is not a dead end. It is a preparation. It is the crucible where faith is tested and character is forged. Every great journey begins with a leap of faith, leaving behind the chains of the past. But often, just as we find the courage to move forward, the shadows of our old life begin to pursue us with a vengeance. The Israelites found themselves trapped. Before them lay the impassable Red Sea, and behind them, the roar of Pharaoh's approaching chariots. Panic set in as the dust clouds of the Egyptian army rose on the horizon. When we are backed against a wall, our first instinct is to despair, cry out, questioning why we ever left the safety of our comfort zones. But Moses stood firm, his faith anchored in a promise larger than his fear. "Do not be afraid," he declared. "Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." He raised his staff toward the heavens, a bridge between human helplessness and divine power. Then the impossible happened. The sea began to pull back, the waters piling up like towering walls on either side. A dry path emerged in the center of the deep. Your impossible situation is often the stage for a miracle. Walking through the sea was a miracle, but the desert that followed was a daily grind. The initial adrenaline of the rescue faded, replaced by the harsh reality of hunger, thirst, and the relentless heat of the sun. At Marah, they found water, but it was bitter. Disappointment can turn our hearts sour. We often expect the journey of faith to be easy once the big miracle is over, but the small trials reveal who we really are. Moses threw a piece of wood into the bitter pool, and the water became sweet. This reminds us that even our most bitter experiences can be transformed into sources of sustenance if we bring them to the light. When hunger struck, the sky rained manna. It wasn't a lifetime supply delivered at once, but just enough for today. It taught them to live in the present, trusting that their needs would be met one day at a time. Years turned into decades. The wilderness was no longer just a place of wandering. It became a training ground. A new generation was rising, one that didn't know the chains of Egypt, but knew the discipline of the desert. They were never truly alone. By day, a majestic pillar of cloud shielded them from the sun's fury. It was a visible sign that even in the heat of your struggles, there is a shadow of protection over your life. And by night, a pillar of fire illuminated the camp. In your darkest moments, when you cannot see the next step, there is a light that guides you. Faith is not seeing the whole stairs, but taking the first step in the light you have. As they reached the banks of the Jordan, the transformation was complete. They were no longer a crowd of refugees, they were a nation of warriors. Their perspective had shifted from what they lacked to what they were promised. You may be facing your own Red Sea today, might feel the weight of a desert season that seems to have no end. But your current location is not your final destination. Every trial is strengthening your spiritual muscles. The lessons of Exodus are clear. Trust the process, lean into the provision, and keep your eyes on the horizon. The same power that parted the sea is the power that resides within you to overcome your giants. The wilderness is where faith is tested, but the promised land is where faith is rewarded. Keep walking. Your breakthrough is on the other side of your perseverance. Faith strengthened is a life transformed.